Hey, 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 everybody. This is Lady Des. We are back. Listen, we had some technical difficulties. I don't know what went on just for minutes ago. But however, we are here and we're back. Brad, thank you so much for sticking this out with this
You're
whole
welcome.
technical difficulty. But we're here and we're going to finish our conversation. So take this as part two, take two.
Right.
So, Brad, I believe I don't even know where we left off, but I was just letting them know before you or as you went off, just to support you in getting the book. It's available on Amazon. And like I said, we just definitely appreciate everything that you are doing in Atlanta, because now you're located in Atlanta and you're an educator there and you're just inspiring so many people. And we want to just continue on with the book, My Life on and Off the Diamond. So, Brad, you have this thing with dirty balls, right? In the book, you
Right.
got these pictures of these dirty balls. Uh, Tell us what that is about.
Okay, the dirty balls in a book is, well, we used to practice with like heavy balls, and what they would do for us is like arm strength. Because when you throw a ball with heavy balls, it's like you just work with your arm strength. So when you get the baseball, the pearls, as I call them, the white balls, and when you throw the ball, it just put more accuracy, more elevating on the ball. You're just throwing line drives to that location, to that base. So that's how we practiced when I was coming up. We play with, that's why the dirty balls in the book is all about where it started from, yeah, and how we played it, play with those balls and practice with them. They're more like
Right.
practice balls. And so by the time the game started, you doing infield, outfield, you just throwing like, so that helped me more than anything, to be honest with you, especially being an outfielder. So I never understood it then when I was doing it, but
Hmm.
it made a difference when I continued to play, and so, yeah,
So they just really just built your arm strength
that's what it was. Yeah.
to help throw.
And also in the wintertime in Chicago, the snow out there. So we'll be out there throwing the ball in the snow, and that didn't help either, with the snow on the ball, and you wipe it off, and the ball is heavy and wet, of course. So all that played a big part, you know, in me on things I've done. So that's why when you see the dirty balls in the book, it just showed me the things I'm like, okay, this is how it started for me. So this is the
Wow.
book. That's why I put them in there for a reason. To show me that,
Wow.
yeah, this is where it started at. This balls
Hmm.
to practice with. They help you
All
get
from the
go forward.
beginning.
Humble beginnings. Can't forget that.
Awesome, awesome. And what about the purpose of the home plate? Because you left a picture of the home plate in there as well.
But we have made the plate. The purpose of the plate is when we play ball in the streets and we have a home plate, and then we make bases. First base with the chalk, basically like use the chalk, and then you make first base with the chalk, second base, and then you got third base with the chalk, and then you got the home plate. And so I wanted the home plate to be in there so we can say, okay, this is where we started at playing baseball in the street, and then we took, when I want to play strikeout,
Uh-huh.
we go to the side, we go on the side of the church, right, and we'll make a home plate. Not on a Sunday, no, not on Lord's Day, not on Lord's Day. Wrong answer. So we'll make a home plate and we'll play strikeout. So the friend in the streets and you at the bat and he throwing the ball from the streets, make sure no cars come by. And so he throwing in trying to strike you out, but you hit the ball in a big open lot. Because if it was house there, you couldn't do it. But yeah, that's the purpose of the plate. And we make a box on the side of the church. And it's a strike box,
Wow.
strike zone. The strike zone, exactly. So
Wow. It's amazing how all of those little practices built up to get you where you are now. And what do you say to those people that feel like they have already arrived? I don't need to practice. I don't need How important is practicing and building your craft, no matter what level you're on?
it is very important because when you're in high school, per se, and you playing, and you think you're the best player on that team, when you go to those trial camps, like I was attending baseball camps that my uncle took me to, and then seeing guys who are just as good as you are, and it just, you think you're there, and it's like, wow, they're just as good as you are. And so then you go to college, those guys just as good as you are, but you have to elevate your game. And so what helped me more than anything, I had that mentality as when I was in high school. I played some of baseball with grown men in the men adult
Hmm.
league, and I took that mentality to college. It's like, okay, I can do this here, and so I was like, it wasn't hard for me. If that makes sense. When I say hard, it was like when the ball come out there, I had no problem jumping and trying to catch the ball over the fence and whatever. So the highlight reels that they show today, we was doing it back then. And when I see it nowadays, I just say, wow, I remember that. You know, so I just say, just have to stay focused on what you're doing and just stay
Absolutely.
humble um, in the process. And, and when you make it to the next level, everybody up there just as good as you are when you make it there. And so,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I tell anybody, it's not once you get there, it's about like we talked about from being five, getting started and working your way up. And then
Right.
God gives
The
you the
whole
opportunity,
process.
the process. Thank you. And
Yeah,
once
the
you
whole
get there,
process. And and this is what I always tell people a lot of times, you don't skip the process,
right?
because if every level, it should strengthen you, right? Because you're
Yeah.
going to have adversities. In church, we'll say every level is another devil, right?
Yes.
So it's like every level that you go on, you're going to have some challenges, and you're going to have some adversities. So you don't really want to skip the process, because you don't know where that top level and what you're going to need, and everything that you have learned throughout the process will help you conquer and be successful at that top level. So it's just so important not to skip the process, but just endure and learn everything that you need to learn on your way up.
That's the key right there. I realized when I was coaching at the HBCU, head coach at the university, I remember my second year there, and we only had 13 players. And it was like guys coming off the bus, like with 25, 30 players coming to the field. I always motivated my players. They believed in me and I believed in them. And
Hmm.
I kept telling them, you know what, it ain't about how many players they have come off that bus. It's about your mentality, your mindset,
Yeah,
and what we can
absolutely.
do. And so they fed into what I was saying, and then I had a picture and it's the truth. Whenever a pitcher was go out there and struggle, I got this from my mother, a saying she would always say to me, and she said, "You always say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me," right? And
Hmm.
so I go out there to my pitcher, and I say, "Hey man, look, that's to repeat after me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." And he looked at me like, "What?" I said, "You got this. Just relax." And he said, "I
Wow.
can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." And he said, next thing you know, he go out there, he got that confidence back again. He humming, whatever. Season was over with. He came and thanked me for that. And so in the pictures said, "Thanks, coach." And I won 13. I won 19 games out of 21 games with 13 players.
Wow.
That's when I realized, wow, I can coach. I can do this
Hmm.
here. So that was a highlight reel for me with that. But again, it goes back to the coaches you had within the Braves organization that you learned from those guys that taught you the game. How to be a student of the game. Respect the game, do things the right way. And so I just fed that into my players. So what I was taught when I played, I threw it on to my guys.
And that's what's up. And that's how you build the next generation. You don't hold all of that knowledge in, you pass it on to
Yeah.
the next generation, because I believe that the next generation should be greater than the one prior. So, once again, Brad, like I said, I just thank you for all that you're doing. Now, you're talking about what you learned from the Braves organization. You also had an opportunity to serve in the World Series a few years ago. So tell everybody about that.
That was a great experience for me. It was I had the opportunity to actually go work with them prior, but I was like, no, I didn't want to really do it because I'm like former player within the organization. You're gonna go work there. But then I thought about it, put that pride to the side. God give you open doors, give you the opportunity to go through that door. You gotta go through it.
That's what's
And
up.
when you go through it, hey, things turned around for the best. The Braves won a World Series, and it was a great feeling. And it was a great feeling for me to be a part of that, knowing that you was in the organization, even in the minor leagues, but you knew guys who played back then, expatriate
Absolutely.
that you worked out with that you never forget. So it was just a great experience, and seeing a lot of former players come back, and you see those guys, and they know who you are, and it's interacting with them. And so I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful and blessed that God put me on this platform and going forward and doing the best I could, and in the process staying humble with all of it, and not get caught up. And
Absolutely, absolutely. And Brad, I just want to say thank you so much. I know we had technical difficulties, but you pressed through and you persevered through all of that, and still had time to come back on and inspire so many, because we always see NFL players, and I'm gonna say Black NFL players. We always see the NBA, but we very rare meet those that play professional baseball. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story, and sharing your story with the world, because I believe that it's going to definitely inspire so many. Now, Brad, we're getting ready to end this live. And I want to just thank everyone for tuning in. Those who jump back on from the first half, you're here on the second half, and it's going to definitely be shared on all of our social media platforms as well as YouTube. So you can also go back and review it, replay it, and just glean from what Brad has shared. So, Brad, now, your passion really is to pour into children and the ones that you educate on a daily basis. And there's going to be so many different projects that's coming out. I did mention the book tour that you're building right now. Once school starts back, reading to the students, telling your story, visiting the schools. So tell us a little bit about that. What is your vision with the whole Brad R. Riddle book tour?
it's a way of getting an opportunity to letting the kids see who you are, you know, as a former athlete and as an author, and letting them know that they can do the same thing that you've done, you know, and let them know that it's all about having confidence in yourself. When people think you can't do something, prove the dollars wrong and just go forward, and just talking from experience. You know, I tell anybody, people can see what you're doing, but they never know what you went through to get to
Absolutely.
where you're at. And so that's why I try to talk to the students that I work with, and I just share with them, you got to just keep focusing on what you want to do and believe, no matter what goes on and obstacles, or don't be a follower, be a leader. And so that's how I like to keep letting kids know, that's, encourage them to keep going forward, because they need that more than anything. So if I can keep doing what I'm doing the best way I know how, I feel like I've done my job. I just like to say, it's just like with baseball. When you throw the ball from the outfield and you hit your cutoff man, you done your job. When you talk to those kids, baseball talk, sorry. When you talk to those kids, it's like, they hear you. Even if one or two hear you, you done your job. But more is hearing what you say and everything. And then all of a sudden they repeat what you said to them. They want attention. You just have to give them the attention that they need, and and they're reaching out for. But you have to pay attention to it to know that. And so
Absolutely.
that's what I do.
Awesome. So we're definitely looking forward to the book tour and going into the schools and just inspiring so many of these students. And you're focusing on the inner schools, right? The inner city schools.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Um,
is there a particular reason for that?
I guess for me, I come from the inner city of Chicago. And so from knowing they can see somebody who came from where they came from and doing different things can maybe motivate them as well. So that's special to me right there. You don't forget where you come from, no matter what. You always remember, yeah, I'm from the south side of Chicago, in the city, and it's shame to say that, admit it, but that's where I'm from. It's not where you're from, it's about what you do, where you come from, and how you do the things.
Right.
So
You
that's how I look
definitely
at it.
don't have to be a product of your past or
That's it.
your atmosphere. Yeah. And
Uh-huh.
you can definitely change the trajectory of, what you saw around you and be the light to so many. So listen, our time is definitely up. But Brad, if you would take this last minute to inspire, encourage someone that is listening, what would you say?
I would tell them something my mother always told me, and that was, Brad, you got this. No matter what comes your way, you got this. No matter if you have doubters, you got this. No matter if people don't believe in what you can do, you got this. As long as
Wow.
you know you got the Lord on your side, you got this. So I tell anybody that's listening to this show that you can do all things through Christ who strengthen you, and that you got this. Young people and older people, it don't matter. Just know, just believe in yourself and never bet against yourself, no matter what. Because when all said and done, you can do this. So I thank everyone for taking time out to listen to the show, part two of the show, you know. And so I'm just thankful for this opportunity, and I thank you so much, Lady Des and Eddie, for y'all helping support with everything that y'all have done for me. And
Wow.
Mary, all
Let
your
me
help.
tell you, Brad, it was definitely an honor. And like I said in part one of the show, it was definitely a divine connection with us all. And when we heard your story and your whole vision, we were all in wanting to assist in whatever way we could to promote this book, push your vision, because you have a genuine heart, and you knew where you wanted to go and what you wanted to share with the people to inspire them, especially our youth. And we're so big on our youth. So thank you once again, like I said, for taking the time out. You are a busy man. So thank you so much for taking the time to spend with Real Love Ministries Live and to share with our audience your story. And we just want to encourage everyone to please follow Brad. Follow Brad on social media. He's on all social media outlets, well, at least Facebook and Instagram. And he has a website as well. So we encourage you to follow him. It's streaming at the bottom, Brad R. Riddle, and also on Instagram at Brad R. Riddle _official. You can follow him there. His website is also Bradford R. Riddle sportsconsulting.com. So this will be also in the bio as well. Just please follow him. If you're an educator, if you're an administrator, you have a church group, a youth group, invite Brad out. He's building his book tour. Listen, y'all, contact him, support him. He's a great guy with great information that would definitely inspire your children. And even adults that has given up. He just told you, you got this. So I just thank you all so much for tuning in to Real Love Ministries Live. I'm your host, Lady Des. A special thank you to Mary Russell Hankins. I don't want to forget her as well, who was the reason for this connection. So Mary, thank you. I hope you're listening. We appreciate this because definitely this was a divine connection. I want all of you to have a great night. Brad, thanks so much, sir.
Thank you for helping me on
All
your
right,
show.
Coach Riddle.
Thank you.